Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Peace, y'all. Welcome back. Episode 2 of Front Porch Vibes. And we have not been canceled yet, so to God be the glory. I thank y'all for pulling back up on me. I would like to take this time, though, before we get any further, before any other episodes are aired, I would like to take the opportunity to send an open apology, if you will, to all of the people that I have encountered that I might have done wrong, knowingly and unknowingly. I'm never going to pretend to be perfect. Actually, the first couple of episodes may just be a closer look into who I am and getting y'all to know me, and hopefully giving you a better understanding as to what I'm here to do. Again, I won't appear to be perfect because honestly, nobody else matters right now. We're going to talk about me. I'm far from perfect, but I am learning, or I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to change. As I am approaching my 40th birthday, I try to spend as much time in reflection as I possibly can. Not because I want to be around anybody pretending to be better, but I just want to be better. So many times as black men, our downfalls end up happening due to the slightest indiscretion. It'd be the slightest choices. Instead of making the left, we made the right, and we ended up getting jammed up. So in an attempt to be a better person as well, or a better example for the young men that are coming up, my sons and my daughter who's watching me, and also trying to set that example for the man that she would want to end up with at some point if she so chose that route. Every day, the things that I do, like I try to think it out and then rethink it again and then think it over once more. Sometimes I am very guilty of overthinking, but it is what it is. Which is actually, let me back up for a moment. So today I was actually supposed to have a guest. For whatever reason, they didn't. Well, I'm gonna label it as a scheduling conflict because I don't think they're the type of person to flake on me. But for whatever reason, this episode is me spinning it with y'all. So I think that it's appropriate. I think that it's appropriate that the title of this show be better. And this go around, I'm going to reserve this conversation specifically to my brothers, simply because I have more experience in that realm, and I think that it's better to speak about us first before we talk about the other mitigating factors. A friend of mine called me a couple days ago, and they called me because they're having a little bit of turmoil in their marriage. And as a younger person who's currently experiencing being married in the new age, I won't say that it's taxing. I won't say that it's difficult, because it's not. But anything in life worth having takes effort. So this is no different. Without putting his business out there or without targeting anybody, I will say one thing that I've experienced since being married is that very few women have any regard for this. I assumed that it was going to be a little bit of the same story as when I was a single man. You know how I would go certain places and be looking and not necessarily be successful unless I was like overly assertive in the situation. And what I mean by that is like going out of my way to like talk to the young lady or whatever. It was never that natural flirting or whatever the case may be. Now that I'm a father and a husband, it's I duck it more times than none. Now, with that, I will never pretend to be that guy that was like, oh, well, black men don't cheat. Because when I was dating, when I was in relationships, I did. I did. I cheated. I wasn't proud of it. I oftentimes tried to justify it, why I was doing A, B, C, and D. But the reality of it was is that I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I was looking for pieces of myself that I needed to find with myself before I was able to partner or become an entity with someone else. I have this conversation more times than none about just because we might want something, we might not be ready for it. And that translates to relationships. That translates to people that we're dating. That translates to having children or success, running a business, whatever the case may be. There's oftentimes plenty of us want to be entrepreneurs, but we might not be ready for it because we lack the discipline. We lack the self-control. Or we lack the couth to even just operate in a corporate space, or to be able to like really deal with corporate dollars and not just operate as a small business. But coming back to the friend in question, for black men who are married, I understand that this might be a stressful and trying time for you. I'm not speaking for all of us, because I do understand that every situation is different. But one thing I will say is keep your dick in your pants, especially if you went and got married. I say that because, one, cheating on your partner that you done went and made that public display with, it's just goofy. And I understand shit happens. I understand that, you might come together with someone that you might have the best intentions and it might not work out. But I'm telling you, for the sake of your sanity, I'm telling you for the sake of your pockets, I'm telling you for the sake of your peace, if you have children involved, to ensure that whatever situation that y'all might have come together to create is dissolved amicably or peacefully, for people who might not know what amicable means. Cheating ain't the vibe. So I know somebody is watching this and it's like, yeah, it's easier said than done. You absolutely right. When Nipsey died, all of his interviews at once were like flooding the internet. And one book that he was always talking about that really affected his life was The Way of the Superior Man. Now, not to hop on anybody's coattails or try to pick up their drum and beat it where they left off or where they might have put it down, but I haven't even finished the book. And I've had the book now for like, Nipsey's been dead for what, 2 years, 3 years now? Yeah, it might be about that. But I've had the book when I heard him say how it affected his life. And I bought the book and I started reading it. And the first couple of chapters, I was just like, I was literally sitting there mouth wide. One of the focal points or the focuses in the book is sexual discipline, bro. And I say that for a number of reasons, and we'll get to those in a second. But for married men, actually, let's just put that out there. It's important for single men to practice sexual discipline also. There's a number of unscrupulous or people that don't mean you well, that are only out here to consume and take, and, oh, she looked good and he looked good. I'm talking to my homegirl right now who is dealing with the issue that she is having a hard time finding a man that wants to take on the financial responsibility of her and her 2 children that she has with another man. And not only does she want him to take on that responsibility, but he's supposed to contribute to bills and shit to a house that he doesn't live in or doesn't have a key to. Which is, that's another conversation in itself that we'll get to one day as well. I think that sexual desire is one of our biggest Achilles heels. And I get it. You know, I understand the science behind men expressing their emotion or their love through physical touch and things like that. I get it. But at the detriment of your peace, for essentially getting with someone that you might be exchanging that sexual energy with, because that shit latches onto you and holds onto you tight, to the children that come out of these situations that you know you shouldn't be having, or no, you knew that you did not want to have, but you thought about the financial benefits that come along with that every tax time, every tax season. I repeat, marriage is not easy. But I think it's also important that you find as close to a friend in your partner as you possibly can before you get married. Because I'm a firm believer that if you're in any relationship, friendship, intimate relationship, male with a man or a woman or whatever, if you're in that relationship and you guys don't disagree, or you guys might not have heated or hot button topics that you guys debate about, somebody's doing something they have no business. It's not going to always be peaceful. And if it is, again, somebody's outside doing something that they have no business. We will get to the conversation about how men cheat physically and women cheat emotionally. And by the time women actually do physically cheat, unless she's just like some type of woman that just doesn't care about herself or her situation. In my experience, I'm not always right, but in my experience, by the time women cheat, they've already developed some type of emotional connection with this person. Men, we got to stop acting off of temporary feelings. This actually translates beyond sexual desire also. There are plenty of young men who are sitting in a graveyard, or who's sitting in a 8x6 or 6x8, whatever the measurements of a jail cell are, right now, because of lack of control, or making permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Damn, even better. I can only recognize it because I'm guilty of it. As a Taurus man, at one point in time, I was quick to anger. Now when I speak and I use my hands and I might make the facial gestures or whatever the case may be, it's more so passion than anything. But I understand how easy it is to be upset at everything else, and something else serves as the catalyst to just set everything off. I'm sorry that I didn't finish that thought. I feel, and again, this is coming from a man that at one point in time, I saw the missing pieces in myself that I needed to fill for myself, knowing what I liked in life, what I enjoyed, what I didn't like, what I was willing to put up with what people can do to me. More importantly, what I was doing to people, and changing that, so that when I walked in a room or somebody heard my name or let's back up for a moment. Talk about the apology, right? When I was younger, I used to steal. I used to go on my mom's purse and steal money. I used to just steal. You know what I mean? And while it was happening, I really wasn't paying attention to the tone or the soiling of my reputation that was happening. And you know what I mean? But one day, I forgot where I was, but I went somewhere, and as soon as I came in, somebody immediately moved their purse. And I was just like, that's a hurtful feeling, man. It's a hurtful feeling. And again, when I talk about the idea of making a permanent decision based on temporary feelings, while people should forgive you, or while forgiveness shouldn't be above anyone, you can't force somebody to forgive you. And I don't know if the money that I stole was somebody's rent money or somebody's whatever money. But the fact of the matter is that it wasn't mine to take. So if I did that person wrong, it's important to apologize. But one thing you're going to learn during these conversations on these stoops, man, or wherever it is that they take place, that my conversations intersect like the Olympic rings at some point. They always circle back and circle back and circle back. So I just ask that you bear with me, because I know at some point somebody's gonna be like, yo, dude, like, you're all over the place. Again, conversations, not with me at least, they don't work this way. I have concise thoughts, but I'll be the first to tell you, I low-key got ADD sometimes. So, but the whole purpose of Front Porch Vibes was supposed to start as a therapy session, so to speak, before I was okay with the idea of a black man going to go talk to a stranger about my problems. And I want y'all to embark on this journey with me, because I haven't found a therapist yet, but I'm looking. And when I find them, I might not tell you who they are at first, but you're going to embark on this journey with me, because there are a ton of things that we are dealing with. And this doubles back to where I was talking about finding pieces of myself within other people. There are a number of things that people are dealing with, young and old alike, that they have no clue that they're dealing with, number one. Number two, they don't know how to deal with it, or they might not be at the point to where they're okay with asking for help. There are a lot of young men and women alike who are running around here broken. And again, we'll get to the women at some point, but fellas, find you an outlet. And I had to force myself to get there, but one of the outlets that I created for myself was bike riding. And I'd have never assumed that I would get on a bike and be like, nah, I'm about to go bust out 10 miles. But during those 10 miles, I think about so much. I'm able to process so much. I'm able to release something that I might have been angry about, so that by the time I get back to home base, it's not even a concern at this point. I said that to say, don't let sex be your only outlet. Don't have it so to where you substitute porn for sex either, because it's doing something to our psyche. I haven't pinpointed it as of yet, but I'm telling you, as somebody who is literally going through these things, who has had thoughts, or who, let me back up, who has had opportunity to do things that weren't necessarily respectful to my partner. I talk to people all the time. What helps me with my decision-making process is just re-emphasizing the idea of things that I can do versus the things that I should do. I can do a lot. I can do anything that I want to. But should I do it, considering that it might hold some bearing on whoever it is that I might deal with, or whoever it is that I might be interacting with during that time? I know this episode may not be as extensive as it is, but I felt like this is important to get this information out. Number one, I felt that the apology was important to get out. I felt that, or I feel, that men, we need to read a little bit more than we're already doing. I think that we got to master our mental. We have to. We absolutely have to. There are too many factors that are currently out there right now that wear us down on a daily basis, whether it be money, whether it be things that we're attempting to accomplish that we haven't just as of yet. Find you an outlet. Find you an outlet. And I'm telling you, as somebody who has at one point in time attempted to go do this very thing, I am telling you, the answer is not in anybody else. Quantifying your problem is not going to resolve the problem, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I actually think that that's going to be the perfect segue for episode 3, talking about the weird diaspora, if you will, or the divide between men and women and this weird ass war that we're fighting. So with that, I thank y'all again for tuning in. The sun has gone down, as y'all can see. I want this to be as authentic as it possibly can be. Because again, I can structure the show. I can have it so to where I can text people and be like, yo, just pull up on me, bro. Like, and we can have a stupid conversation. Like, I'm not here for that. In a world of inauthenticity, I feel what's going to make me relatable and make you understand where I'm coming from is being genuine. And I'm tired of lying, bro. I used to lie too. That's another thing. Like, in addition to stealing, I used to lie. And honestly, people have the idea that if you lie, you'll steal. If you'll steal, you'll kill. And bro, that's not my MO. I'm not here for that. I'm trying to build, and I'm trying to embrace love, and I'm trying to show love, and I'm trying to get other people to show love. The only way we are going to change is if we be the change, and I'm trying to be the change. So with that, I appreciate you all for tuning in. I am your host, Mr. Hughes. This is episode 2 of Front Porch Vibes. Just always know I'm going to leave the light on for you. Peace.